Today we're checking out one of the brand new planeswalkers coming out of Foundations, Kaito, Cunning, Infiltrator. Let's see how good he might be, what kind of an Oathbreaker deck we could build with him, and what signature spell might pair best with him. Kaito costs 1 blue and starts at 3 loyalty. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a loyalty counter on Kaito, +1. Up to 1 target creature you control can't be blocked this turn. Draw a card, then discard a card. -2. Create a 2/1 blue ninja creature token. -9. You get an emblem with, whenever a player casts a spell, you create a 2/1 blue ninja creature token. I really like that static ability. That seems really cool. I always look for planeswalkers that can protect themselves either with removal abilities or by plussing to make a token. And on first read, I was disappointed that this was a -2 to make the token, but really that's static. I mean, if you can take advantage of that static ability, it doesn't really matter as much that that's minus. And if you can really leverage out the static ability, it shouldn't be too hard to get to that -9. And it's whenever any player casts a spell, not just you. You're going to be getting just a ton of ninjas off this if you manage to get to the emblem consistently. Maybe I'm being too optimistic with that -9, but I don't think so. I think if you build it right, this could really work. However you build it, I think it's going to be a pretty aggressive combat-based blue deck, and that's kind of weird for mono blue. Alright, I just paused and read through all the mono blue planeswalkers, and I can confirm this is the most aggressive mono blue one we have. So I think it's arguable that this will become one of the best mono blue Oathbreakers. Alright, now let's talk about some signature spell options and what directions they might take the deck. We could do a ninja tribal build with a signature spell like Raise the Palisade, choose a creature type, return all creatures that aren't of the chosen type to their owner's hand. Or Distant Melody, choose a creature type, draw a card for each permanent you control of that type. I don't think this is going to be super viable though. There's only, by my count, 26 ninjas if you include the changelings in mono blue. And obviously that's going to include some pretty mediocre cards. If you weren't keen on ninja tribal, we could run a whole bunch of unblockable creatures. That would be the fastest way to abuse the static to get to that -9. The downside of that is Kaito's +1 kind of loses some of its point. But if you do go that route, I really like Arm with Aether for signature spell. Until end of turn, creatures you control gain. Whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, you may return target creature that player controls to its owner's hand. That option also just works good with his +1. Or maybe our signature spell could double down on making something unblockable, something like Slip Through Space or Enter the Enigma, or Open into Wonder, all 3 of which also draw you cards. Or possibly reverse the polarity, choose one, counter all other spells, or switch each creature's power and toughness till end of turn, or creatures can't be blocked this turn. Alternatively, we could try to synergize with a +1 using a signature spell that's a pump spell, and these are hard to come by in blue, but we do have a couple. Spatial Contortion and Eldrazi Confluence can both give target creature +3, -3 until end of turn, so it depends on how big our creatures are. Twisted Image is a card that flips a creature's power and toughness, and actually Reverse the Polarity does the same thing, remember? And here you also have to build very specifically around this. I don't think it's that great though. And finally we come to what I think is the best option for building Kaito, trying to get to that -9 as fast as possible with a proliferating signature spell. I'll start with my favorite and work my way down. Ripples of Potential is an instant for 2. Proliferate, then choose any number of permanents you control that had a counter put on them this way. Those permanents phase out. So this proliferates you up and protects Kaito. Red Storm is a close second for me, an instant for 4 with Storm and Proliferate. So if you cast this on their turn after they've already cast something, you're kind of guaranteed 2, but hopefully you can get 3 counters off this, or maybe even more. Serum Snare returns target non-land permanent to its owner's hand if that permanent had mana value 3 or less. Proliferate. This is great if your playgroup runs nice low mana planeswalkers. Experimental Augury is a card draw card that proliferates. There's also Contentious Plan, but there's really no reason to run that over Experimental Augury. Reject Imperfection's also decent. Counter target spell if that spell's mana value is 3 or less. Proliferate. And Tezzeret's Gambit draws you 2 cards, then proliferate. Decent. I really don't think those are the top options, but they're decent. If you liked the video, like the video. That helps out my channel a whole bunch. And if you want to see more, you can check out my channel where I have like 170 of these videos pairing planeswalkers to signature spells. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.